Welcome in, everybody. It's another fall football season here at the Big Rapids Media Network. It's another edition of The Rundown presented by our great sponsors, including Denny's Muffler and Brakes, Eagle Village & Co., Brandon Worth, as well as JT Scarpelli. We got the reunion. The broadcast gang is back together. Jason Kostecki, Mark Holcomb joining us.
Good to
Handshakes
see you,
around the horn.
Jason.
Really good stuff. And it is great to have you guys back. Hi. It's been a long time, isn't it?
I know it has.
We've got football on our hands, and especially in the CSA, it's going to be a great season of football coming. We'll break down each team, what we think is going to happen in the conference, both for the red and the white, and we'll get you week one games, which are all pretty much very good games. We'll talk about those. Big thanks goes out to our sponsors, including Denny's Muffler and Brakes. They're in downtown Big Rapids. They can help you with general auto repair as well as specialized mufflers and brakes. You can also get an oil change, folks. You can visit them on downtown State Street. Also, big thanks to Eagle Village. If you want a job that can impact the lives of youth and the next generation, you can find unemployment opportunities, their mission, vision, and values at eaglevillage.org. All right. We obviously have our biases here with the two schools we are representing. It's going to be a very interesting conference season nonetheless. We'll talk about a little bit what happened last year. Obviously, Big Rapids ended up winning the conference overall. Really dominant year from Coach Seltzer's crew, taking down Reed City at their place in order to clinch that conference crown. It's going to be very interesting this year, especially both Reed City and Big Rapids, as we'll kind of hop back and forth. Both teams have lost some key players from last year's team.
Yeah, huge impact for the Cardinals, specifically out of Garrett Foster. He was on both sides of the ball. He did a lot. He set a lot of physical tempo for the Cardinals last year. But the other guy, Caden Schuberg, right in the center, he was snapping that ball for a couple of years. He locked down the line. A good leader for the offense down there too. So just really those two guys, in my opinion, are some of the higher impact guys. They lost a couple others, but those two guys are the higher impact guys just because of setting the tone for games. That was a big thing I know out of Foster. That came from way back with Cheese Wilbur, and then Garrett kind of picked that torch up where Phil left off after he graduated. So that's going to be a big thing, the physicality of the game and all that. And Garrett was a guy who really set that tone, and then Caden Schuberg as well. So those are our losses, without a doubt. But there's a little bit of an unknown. We're not going to speak for him. We just know that one of their better athletes, too, Liam McLaughlin, is not playing as of right now. So not going to speculate as to why. I'm sure he has his own reasons. He's a really good kid, really good family, but that's a blow for the receiving core in particular. Guys got good hands. So, yeah, it's going to be a little different for the Cardinals this year.
Yeah, no, I agree exactly with everything JT said. We've been kind of talking to Coach Pedigo. He's kind of taking a back seat to calling the offense. We seen it last year when he missed some time when he was coaching Montcalm Community Girls team. They missed some steps. They didn't fire on all cylinders offensively, so that's a big factor too. We'll see what that plays in, and as things move forward with those key pieces gone and Liam not playing and things. So there's some work that needs to be done, I think.
There certainly is. And enrollment is on the way up, too. So you know that the JV level, the freshman level as well, there are going to be a lot of incoming players that we might not even mention overall in this preview just because there's so many players out there. Yeah,
that JV, that group, that sophomore group, I do think Coach Seltzer is kind of opting to do the right thing right now. He's keeping a lot of them together. So that includes a guy like Alexander Brandt, who's, everyone kind of sees him as the next quarterback after Cole Heist graduates. Kid's got a cannon. He's very physical. He opted to only focus on baseball, even at his young age this last year. So he's gotten a lot stronger, faster, understands the game more, mature a little bit. But he's going to start down on JV. They want to keep that core group in that class together to move them up for the next 2 years. I think that's the right move. And barring any kind of cataclysmic injury or huge underperformance out of guys already on the varsity roster, it sounds like that's the game plan moving forward.
Looking for the chemistry definitely over the next couple of years. And Mark, we saw on the Reed City side, this was a really dominant offensive and defensive line last year that led this group to a regional final game. Now you have a whole new line, but the same three in the backfield. There's a lot of excitement with these backs, some of the fastest that the school has really ever seen in the last decade plus, but it's a new defensive group as well, a little bit, some new pieces and some new positions as well. It should be a very fast group to watch, and we'll see, especially with the gauntlet of a schedule as Coach Schenkel loves year after year.
Yeah, and the question for me, there's two big question marks. One is the line play when you lose guys like Spalo and Thompson up front. The the big guys up front, play defense and offensive side of the ball, trying to replace them. We do not have the size that we did last year, but we've got all the speed back. And then the second question for me, and I think that we're going to be watching all year, is the quarterback play. Landon Jackson, 2-year starter for the Coyotes. Who's going to be the guy to step in? Maybe it's going to be combination. Maybe it's not going to be one guy. Maybe it's going to be two. It's going to be situational. We don't know. We haven't heard anything like from Michigan and Ohio State this last week. We know who the quarterbacks are at both those places. I don't think that we know who the starting quarterback's going to be for the Coyotes right now.
Yeah, we've seen multiple guys taking first-team reps all summer, so it's going to be very interesting to see. And not only that, obviously we'll touch on the schedules here in just a minute, but with the momentumous season that was last year, going into that Boyne City game where this team really believed this could be the year and ending up short, talking to the seniors, talking to the group from last year. And I think Big Rapids could even say that after that loss to Whitehall, that they were both two very special groups that felt that they could have went further. So those returners are going to bring it this upcoming year.
Well, I think that's, Jack Deitch, he's a great athlete. He could play 3 sports, right? But the coaches have been talking to him about basketball this fall, and he's like, no. It's all football right now, and that's the way Deitch and Kianis and Kopic, those 3 guys, 3,000-yard rushers returning from last year, which I think is unheard of at the high school level, and they're fast. So that's what we're going to make up for our size, is we're fast in the back end of our defense and fast in our backfield, and we also need to figure out who's going to be that wide receiver piece as well.
So I've heard rumor too that Sims and Schenkel are kind of mixing stuff up. They're going to try to really utilize that speed. I think that's very interesting, right? It's a very traditional style offense Reed City has always run that is relying on some bruisers up the middle in particular and all that. So having speed, right? That to me, that's very interesting to hear, that they might kind of try to open it up, get some guys in space and so on and so forth. Maybe mix up how they stack the tee and stuff like that. I have an inside source on the team.
Oh, it does he now? And it's not either of us. So who knows where it's coming from?
Who mentioned this to me, so that's exciting.
The coaches have kind of joked that those 3 backs only need about the width of a 2x4. I tell you what, I'll put those 3 backs up against any secondary. They're going to split corners and safeties all year. We saw it happen last week 3 times in the scrimmage, and first it was fun watching them play Beale City right out of the gate, because Beale City is good and big and physical and fast, and that was some pretty good smash mouth football right out of the gate for us last week.
Absolutely. Reed City showed a lot of positives. Also, some things to work on, and Big Rapids sounds like the same thing in their scrimmage, so it's going to be very interesting. Looking at some other teams as well, Newaygo was a team that really turned it on last year under Coach Bunger, had a good group of athletes, right? Obviously, Hunter Yurcevich being one of them, Blake Kerr at the quarterback spot. Those 3 are all gone. So there's a lot of question marks. Obviously, they're bringing back some key guys that on the defensive side of the ball that are probably going to have to play offensively a lot more snaps. So Newaygo was going to be one of those teams that's kind of a wild card situation, right? It's going to be very interesting to see what they bring. And then on the other side of the M37 rivalry, right, Grant, especially under Coach Lowry, they're looking at numbers. They have some athletes there. How do they utilize them in their best 11 to see if they can be competitive this upcoming year? We'll see if either of those teams want to really prove some of these teams wrong.
Yeah, and then drive out a little bit. You'll find Chip Hills too, kind of hanging out. Let's see what Coach Belong's got up his sleeve for them. And you go south a little bit, you got Tri-County. So Butler's been doing a pretty good job down there for them as well. We'll see what they kind of put together coming into this year. It's just, we were just talking about this before we went live, right? The big factor is just that there's really one school kind of growing enrollment around here, and that's Big Rapids. So it just gives them a natural advantage just from a pool to pick from. So when you look at some of these other schools, like down south, like the ones that we're just talking about, they don't have that advantage. They don't have the history that Reed City's established over the last 20 some years to back up the development in football too, right? So a wild card. Who knows, man? Who knows what they're going to get, especially when you lose guys like you're mentioning in Newaygo, you lose guys who's going to step up. I don't think you see some of these guys come out of the ether the way that Deitch and some of these dudes from Reed City have. It's a lot of question marks for them. The 2 teams, in my opinion, to really watch, not disparaging anyone, but are the 2 teams that we are representing on Big Country and on Y102 this year. That game is going to be That's going to be a doozy, too.
It's going to be fun.
Week 5, put it on the calendar, indeed. And
Brandon, I think Chip Hills is going to be better I don't know that they're going to compete with us or Big Rapids. I think they're going to be better. Tri-County, they're always fast on the edge.
Stay healthy.
But do they have somebody that can throw the ball downfield?
Yeah.
I don't know that they're the quarterback situation. They got to figure that out.
Yeah, Von Veltman is definitely going to be that guy. And now you have Jaden Button returning, right? Last year didn't play because of that freak injury. Glad to hear that he's in good spirits and playing ball again. And for that team, it's just staying healthy, right? Coach Butler has a very talented group. Can they just stay on the field and be able to play all 9 games plus going to the playoffs, where they had a terrible draw last year facing off against Frankenmuth the first? That's a tough draw, no matter how good of a football team you are. And as Grant, especially talking to Coach Lowry, they want to be very aggressive running the football. They want to be tough, physical, because they know they have to be in this conference. And Newaygo is a team, right, that has a lot of good playmakers, a lot of playmakers in space. They just got to improve the defense. Stop giving up points. They can score points, but they got to stop opponents from getting those points. So it'll be interesting. And Chip Hills, they have the athletes, right? We saw a couple of those guys when we watched them against Reed City. They put up 30 against that Reed City defense, especially with a good quarterback in Hunter McGuire, as well as some good speedsters in the sophomore class. That'll be pretty good to watch as well. But it'll be interesting indeed. Some notable games, especially for week 1, we'll get to here in just a moment. But first, of course, we talked about week 5. Rivalries are always fun, and they're obviously more fun when all the fans are into it. And the one way you can do that, merch at rivalsmi.com. They're not school affiliated, but they're supporting the high school sports here in our area. You can go online, rivalsmi.com. You can find some of the school shirts. You can find as well some of the legend shirts, which nonchalantly, shameless plug, JT might be wearing one right now. So if you like this one, you can buy it right now, as well as some of those other things. And big thanks goes out to Dazos Digital as well. Target your target audience with the experts at dazosdigital.com for all of your advertising needs. Flipping the script a little bit before we talk week 1 here, before we wrap it up. In the White Division, Central Montcalm, what a season they had last year. Really finally broke the slump of what was near 500 seasons and made the best out of it. That's a team that's going to be very interesting. Emmett Ligman, what a talent that he has, is focusing on baseball. So he's not playing football is what's being reported this year.
He's not.
So it's going to be, so confirmed source. There you go.
0%.
Yeah, he's not playing.
0.
So who the quarterback is, because they have a lot of good players on the outside, receivers, DBs. So how are they utilized without him at the quarterback spot? Big question, especially for Coach Kripe. And then Kent City, Coach Gropp has always had that group. Really tough football team, always good fundamentally. They make other teams beat themselves as much as them beating them. So it'll be interesting to see. Those are probably the two. Got Lakeview as well with a new coach coming in this year after 14 years, I believe, a brand new coach. So they're looking to see what they can get this year. And then you have White Cloud and Molly Stanwood. Molly Stanwood also with a new coach this year, and White Cloud in year 2 with Coach Trice. So all those teams, those 3 teams, really kind of still building, getting that foundation, right? Getting good football in front of the fans. And then those other 2, I mean, Central Montcalm, Kansas City could be a fun coin flip this year. It'll be fun to watch.
They're still going to be good. Yeah, I mean, Kripe's done a good job with that program, though. So even without Emmett, and that's saying something, because, you lose a 6'2", actually, I think he's like 6'4" now. Like 6'4", 200-pound athlete. I don't care where you are. That's
pretty good.
Hurts. Yeah, that hurts. But yeah, those I would expect them to still be the dominant team in that conference. Now, I do want to talk real quick. This is a little bit skipping over, and I don't mean to do that to you, Brandon, but I'm going to hijack this for a sec because Mr. Kosecki and I, we have a really fun segment that we want to bring back this year, and we're going to expand on.
We've heard about this.
Yes.
So every week, we're going to try the concession stands, and we're going to grade them. And at the end of the year, we're going to issue a trophy.
Let's go.
At the end, the best one that we vote is going to get like a trophy from us.
Love it.
Presented to him for...
Hopefully it's not Paw Paw, because then we'd have to drive all the way back down.
we wouldn't mail that one. But
good thing we don't play at Kingsley this year. Then, right?
You're
those
right there.
fries, man. I'm telling you, those fries at Kingsley. Bring that food truck down to Reed City this Thursday.
Please
that would be awesome.
Please do. Long story short, we had to delay our broadcast 5 minutes last year because Mark had too much fun with the fries. So that was.
I don't blame you.
It was so good, by the way.
Tough to beat. Good right before a football game too.
Oh yeah, so good. But it's going to be a fun CSAA season. Let's get to week 1 and run through the games really quick before we get you on your way. Molly Stanwood against Harbor Springs. Harbor Springs, a team that is going to be very competitive against Molly Stanwood. We'll see if Mohawks can start the season with a win. Central Montcalm going to Houghton Lake. Hornets favored in that one. Can they get the job done on the road? Tri-County and Ovid Elsie. Coach Butler wants to start out with a bang, and he will certainly do just that against a really good football team in Ovid Elsie that has caused problems in the playoffs the last couple of years. Newaygo and Kent City. right off the bat. That's a really good matchup, especially two CSAA teams in different divisions. We'll see how that fight goes. Newaygo have first-year head coach. Central Montcalm looking to build off last year without their starting quarterback. Lakeview and Mason County Central. Wildcats won a test, and they got one. Mason County Central, a playoff team last year, and ran into Standish Sterling as we followed that path as we ended up playing the Panthers in the district final game in Reed City. That'll be a fun matchup. We'll see if Lakeview can hang. Then you got Big Rapids and Paw Paw, of course. Big Rapids getting ready for the T. This is a good Paw Paw team that you guys have seen the last 2 years. It should be a fun matchup.
Yeah, they lost one of their better linemen, the coach's kid, but looking over some of the play call stats with Coach Cheese earlier today, they're just going to run it down your throat. So the Cardinals are probably going to try to utilize Max Bowman as much as possible to shut that down at the middle.
Yeah, and I think defensively, Braylon Counselor's going to have a big day.
Yep.
He's going to have to kind of own it, make sure he's making tackles. I think he's going to have a good year. He had a great year towards the end of last year, and I think they're really looking for him to be a big piece of that this year defensively.
Yeah, and stepping up will need to be John Lazinski will return. And then I'm hearing, rumor that Bryce Seltzer looked pretty good out of the linebacker spot there for him. So getting good reads, hitting hard. So a couple guys are going to have to step up for sure. So we'll see. But Paw, I don't know, maybe they'll surprise us. I don't expect the ball to be in the air too much, though.
They were pretty big last year, expecting to be pretty good size again. So really it's going to be, though, us offensively. I'm interested to see what we do with the absence of Garrett. Mm-hmm. I think that's a big piece to lose. We still have Jack Bowman, but, you had to look at both of them. Now we just have one, and who's going to fill that second role that's going to maybe take some of that weight off of Jack, every single game. So
yeah, it should be very interesting indeed. And Mark, on our side, the Stags once again. I mean, we were reminiscing week 1 of last year. What a game! Fun. What a game to start our careership with, right? I mean, right out of the gate.
Sorry about the French fries.
Oh, of course. But I mean, you look at especially what that happened last year, right? Reed City throwing the football down the field in the last 90 seconds, unbelievable stuff. But I think especially the Stags took that game personally. They thought they should have won that game. The whole clock disparity and the newspaper down there.
Honestly,
it's up to discretion, right? It's a local audience, but there's one thing that's for sure. Both of these teams, it's going to be the trenches that wins this football game. There's no doubt about it. Both these teams are very strong. They're very athletic. They're very fast. So it's the boys up front that are probably going to win this one. And can the defense make key stops on third down?
Well, I think a key for me is seeing us take Tyler Woodside off the line and putting him in a linebacker. He looked really good last week in the scrimmage, filling gaps, reading plays. Our ends did a great job forcing things upfield. So it might be as much the middle four, the two defensive tackles and the two linebackers, than the 4 down linemen like we had last year that we just don't have this year. And the ends are key too, to keep forcing the ball in the middle of the field where all our speed and all our help is. And I think having Tyler Woodside there, he's a kid that I think could average 10 tackles a game.
Yeah, could definitely be indeed. And we'll see how the back end definitely does against some of these fast teams. Chip Hills against Manistee. That'll be a good test for Coach Pelong right out of the gate. Can they hang with the Mariners, a playoff team last year?
Hometown.
Right. There you go. A little shout out there for Coach Kosecki. And then White Cloud and Shelby. Those two teams have played competitive football the last couple years. We'll see if they can do it once again. And then Wyoming Kelloggsville will host the Grant Tigers in week 1. So those are all the CSAA teams. Absolutely. It is that time of year, guys. I mean, the marching band's getting ready behind us. We're getting geared up.
Yep.
Catch our broadcast Thursday night, 6:30 p.m. You can catch Big Rapids at Paw Paw with these two guys on 100.9 as well as WWBR.com and the WWBR mobile app. Catch me and Mark at home as Reed City hosts Kingsley in a week 1 rematch of last year.
Let's go.
102.3 FM as well as WYBR.com and the WYBR mobile app. That's going to adjourn for us. Till next time, we'll see you later, everybody.